did. I might have just stopped it.
Oh, okay.
I think I accidentally hit the button while I was there. We'll find out. All right, we're in Elite Geek Beef Tag Team. I'm pretty sure Beefy just got a bunch of nobodies on this track. Some deep cut unknowns. So if you ever wondered, how do you get someone like MC Frontalot to do the VPC, you just be Beefy.
Yeah.
You just be Keith A. Moore, and he'll jump on for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And it's always a beautiful day when the grandfather of nerdcore blesses us.
Yep.
On a feature, whether or not it's your own.
Mm-hmm.
It is a blessing. Bless. Good job. Should I get another set of coal started just because?
Not now, because these are smaller, so the coals light up fairly quick, but soon, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Beefy really went for it with the features, and the track feels comfortable with it. And this is a tough one, because when there's a lot of rappers on a track, you've really got to balance out who you have. And fortunately, he went for a lot of people that don't sound like him at all, and he went for a lot of people that don't sound like each other. Tanner, of course, went live on the production.
Of course, it's fucking Tanner.
Tanner.
It's fucking Tanner.
It's 10 out of 10. It's another 10 out of 10.
Good
There's
job.
no question.
Good job.
No
I'm proud of
question.
you.
We don't.
Victory and valor. Okay.
We're going right into bleak and mild, right away. Got my classic 1989 to 1992 center head part on the pony right here.
I noticed that.
I came from the shower.
You did.
And I need
Good
my
job.
hair to be as limp as possible when it's dry, so I tied it back.
Very nice.
I like
Very
a
nice.
limp hair.
I like how laid back this track
Yep.
is. It's a nice respite.
Yeah, it's a-
from like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, you know, we need to take it
Yeah.
back. Everyone calm the fuck down.
No, it was actually the first three tracks feel very good together, because both One Up Funk and Elite Geek Beef come fairly high energy. They're not speed rapping.
No.
But fairly high energy, like up.
Yeah.
And then this one just kind of grooves.
Okay, I think the background like rap of that part could have been turned down a bit.
Yep. This does honestly sound like a super chill track.
Yeah. I fucks with those bars just now.
Yeah, this is a super smooth track. The production's a little rough as far as the leveling, making sure the vocals feel like they're in the cut rather than just all the way out in front.
Word.
But that's hard to do with a lot of vocalists, maybe a lot of different mics, and when you're balancing people. But it's definitely meant to be just sort of a chill backbeat to let rappers rap, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good today. So, but by the way, the things that I'm giving are the things that I gave. I gave Bleak and Mild an 8, I want to say, out of 10, which is very, very solid. Yeah, I like that they do a lot of weird stuff in this, too. A lot of weird breaks. So, yeah, good job, Bleak and Mild. 8 out of 10.
Good job.
Dappersaurus. Kitchen itch.
Itch?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's right down there.
Oh, got it. Okay, thank you. You got a Death Star intro.
You mean a long one?
Yeah.
Nice, pregnant. It's nice, though. It's a good little melody.
Yeah. I'm not mad. Nice.
Nice.
I think that hook could be turned up a little bit more.
Yeah, when you go with a low tone on the hook, but you have a kind of upper register rapper,
Yeah.
you want to bring the hook up in volume a little bit because upper register is easier for ears to hear. That middle to high tenor is where most ears pick up a lot of talking noise and are trained to do.
Yep.
So when you're going low bass on the hook, you want to just bring it up a bit. Like a nice low bass plane flying over. I'm going to say that was probably my favorite verse from Dappersaurus, only because it was the closest to being on beat the whole time. Also, they held it the whole round with British Baking Show. They held it the whole competition with that.
Good job being on theme. I'm proud of y'all. Doesn't look like I am, but I am. Resting bitch face has always been my forte. All y'all know this. This should not be a surprise.
I, as a giant, straight, hetero, cisgendered white male, have resting happy face.
Yeah, you kind of do.
I had to learn how to frown. I had to learn how to frown deliberately. I just walked around with a big old dumb grin on my face most of my life. And
hi, y'all.
And so, like right now, because of the lighting, I can look real serious for a moment. It's hard to be serious during the XOC part. I don't know. I didn't read that XOC was on this track. I just heard it. I just heard it. This is a good chill track.
Yeah.
I think the chorus could have come up a bit more. I think there could be a bit more with the production background. It's a cool live drum kit sound, and I like the synths.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to compare because we came off two very well produced, bigger, complex things, and then a good chill track.
Yeah.
That was just a little too quiet across the board on the instrumentation, and so this feels like it's kind of in the same vein. But I like it.
Yep.
I believe I gave this one a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Yep. Very good.
I like this break. I also appreciate this track's shortness. 3:47 is the right length.
Yeah.
Unless you're goofing around. Dystopia. Grammar Girl.
Okay, Flux Style's on this.
Yep. I like the drum line on this. Quick tip, if you want to really send up kind of a 70s sound on the production, you want to take the mid and pull it up, the mid and the high, and pull it up a little bit on the vocals, and add a little bit of fuzz. And if you have a wah-wah effect on it, you can put that underneath on a duplicate vocal track, and it'll give it'll help the vocals along with this real like cool, cool like word up sort of vocal that happens. You can do that. You can also just put a fuzz distortion on it. Now, if you want to put probably 2. This song is groovy as fuck, by the way.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I say it like it's like this song is groovy as fuck, by the way. Shockingly, Dystopia makes a good melodic, fun song. Oh, did you put that? You can just leave the bag by you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
This right here, I remembered this. This is what pushed this song from a solid like a maybe it's an 8 to a solid 9. Yeah, this song really blows up later and gives you a lot more. And so if you stick with it on a track, it just gets bigger and bigger, and that's amazing. And I love it. And so honestly, the lack of effects on the first verse vocals was most likely a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
Because it comes in here. The fuzz distortion is there. Good ass bass. Just good ass track. So good job. I probably gave this a 9 out of 10 at the time, but I'd give it a 10 out of 10 today.
Yep.
Next track is Double Analog Cell. So I like the verse delivery on this, but I feel like the drums need to play off of it a bit more. They're almost a 4 on the floor drum. And then you've got the kind of main kind of 80s synth. Sort of staccato, or the, I can't remember the term for it. But the sort of just like playing the chord. We had a challenge for it, and I just can't remember the word for it right now. But yeah, this was pretty good. Good contrast in vocalists for the sequence of verse deliveries.
It's nice. No one is mad at this.
Now, what you are choosing to do here is really not have a hook, because you're trading rappers, which is easier to do when you're trading rappers, because everyone's bars are going to sound different. So I'm not mad at it either. But the track isn't super jumping out at me, so I'm throwing it at 7. Or I threw it at 7.
Vincent EL says the word you seek may be arpeggio.
Arpeggio. I kept wanting to say pizzicato, and I'm like, that's not it at all. Arpeggio. So yeah, just a nice little simple arpeggio through the whole thing. So the beat's a little too simple, and nothing jumps for me. There's no chorus, and so it just sounds almost like a cipher.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It just means that it's a 7 out of 10 instead of an 8, 9, or 10.
Good job, though.
Yeah. Gross beats.
God, when I first heard this beat, I'm like... Fiddler on the Roof, huh? But yeah, I have memories of Fiddler on the Roof because that was like my high school musical on my senior year.
It was my high school musical on my senior year too.
Good job, Steve.
I didn't perform in it because apparently being in a band and then being in choir all the way from 1st grade through 8th grade and then being in my own band, I was like, why would I join theater or a musical? I don't know why. I was a dumb kid.
It's all good.
So I think Cloth and Pop's done an If I Were a Rich Man beat. I know I've downloaded a couple If I Were a Rich Man beats, and I think Bill Beats does a good job here he intros it with it, but then he gets into a very specific horn loop and sample that almost, if like he didn't warm it up with this, I would have just been like, this is a weird but good beat. So I really like how he kind of almost obfuscates the song a little bit more. The scratches are, of course, good.
I feel very at home with this beat, so I'm just like...
And then it speeds up here.
Hey. Is this on high? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it'll get there.
Yeah, Ardo's Fiddler on the Roof. God, I cannot remember the protagonist's name, but yeah.
Jimmy Fallon.
Yes.
Jimmy Fallon's rendition.
But yeah, it was a song from that musical.
So, Bill Beats did a really good job with this, and I don't know if he sent them all each individual things and then restructured it underward, but when you decide to do very different productions for different rappers to kind of play to their strengths, and especially if you're ditching a kind of a consistent chorus and just dropping in a sample, it allows you to have a lot of fun with that, and it steps up the sort of cypher feel. So yeah, it's good. It's a good track. It's also a 2-minute and 40-second track, which I greatly appreciate. Like, there's a part of me that wants to give it a 10 out of 10 only because it's a real clean pair, but I think I gave it a 9 out of 10. Right into Hell If I Know.
Beautiful overhead airplane.
Yeah, that's not part of the track, but it could have been.
No,
Could have been.
It's just like the rug on The Big Lebowski. Ties the room together.
Yeah.
Ties the whole track together. Did it not?
I love how disjointed and almost fringy the verse is to start off with. And then they go into this super catchy hook.
Yeah. I like that too.
I'm gonna spoiler alert. It's 10 out of 10 from Hell If I Know again. Their songs are always about movement. Honestly, half of Hell If I Know's songs, both this VPC and previously, sound like they could have been collab tracks because neither Celine or Navi are ever afraid to give a very different rap rendition verse to verse.
Which is great.
And so having them together is just a gift. Plus, I was happy to hear Celine on a track again, if only because Celine has the best, like the most comfortable flow transitioning in all of nerdcore. Or some of the most comfortable flow transitioning in all of nerdcore. It's all very natural and clever and inventive. This is another good example of the producer playing with the production to work best with the MC that's in front of it.
Yeah.
Unsurprising from this. I'm excited because they're coming to TutanCon, aren't they? I think they are. I think I'm going to get to see a Hell If I Know set at TutanCon.
don't
Well, I
think
mean, Celine will
anything's-
be there definitely
yeah,
because it's in
he's-
Denver.
Yeah.
And
I don't think official announcements have gone yet.
Oh, okay. Well, it leaked on the live stream.
Oops.
But yeah. I'm bad at secrets. 10 out of 10. Kaiju no Uta. I'm bad at secrets. I don't understand why there are secrets.
I appreciate loud.
A loud squad.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh, you have? Okay, perfect. Thanks, Navi.
What?
They
They
have
announced
been
it.
announced.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked that I not get announced at all.
Why?
Well, I mean, because it's a negative. I don't want to dissuade
No,
people.
no. Like, I
Um,
mean, if you're gonna be an act like in anywhere, you're just gonna have to get used to people announcing that you're there. Like, this is not Death Star where you get to be self-deprecating. Like, you need to.
Well, that came from a real place.
That did come from a real
And it
place.
was
I get
earned in
that.
Death Star.
I mean, it was earned in Death Star. No one's arguing that, but you know.
Yeah, I know.
You do need to. You know.
I feel like the vocalist feels like they're behind this. When you do these kind of really tight vocals, you've really got to, like, be perfect lined up. As a person that just recorded, like, 30 takes of straight 16s. They were straight 16s memorized in my head, but 30 takes to get it to sound just right with
Yeah.
Nick last Friday. It was intense.
Yeah. Oh God, I have one more song left for the GoFundMe. EP,
Yeah.
And then it's like the Patreon stuff, which is not going to be that hard. It's like 4 verses.
You're like, I got
So
this.
like this is not. But I'm like very because we banged out like a song a week, and I'm just like we're out here. We're a machine.
See this. This is the counter example.
I appreciate the chopping.
Yeah, like this sounds like this
Like-
rapper always can. That sounds like an MC who can always deliver at that speed.
Yeah.
With whatever version of beat you throw them at that BPM. And so that's what you've got to be when you do fast rap. It's so important that you've got to have it locked on a recording. Live, you get a little bit more room for it, and so you can work on something live until you've got it to the point where it's like blinking, and then
Yep.
love the beat on this, love the instrumentation on this, love most of the rappers on this, but because one fell off, it's an 8 out of 10.
Good job though.
Good job, great job on it. The winners of VPC 6, KKMDS.
Yep. Congratulations on y'all's win.
Congrats on the win.
Yep.
2 Yoked Bros knew that you were gonna win round 1.
Yep. Good job.
You wanna flip the coals?
Oh,
see
shit,
the bottoms?
Oops.
Yeah, they sneak up on you like they're like nothing. I'm done.
Like surprise, fucker. Stand so it's that way. There you go. But okay, it kind of scooted down a little bit. I wasn't prepared for it.
Oh shit, you ready for some live instrumentation? Oh my god, this shit's gonna
I am
be
ready.
so hot.
Yup.
Yep. Beauty.
Alright, that's
Fucking
that,
shit.
and let's just dump up the BPM.
It's just forever gonna keep sinking. I'm gonna be like down to the floor. It's fine. Alright, I'm gonna grab those poles here
Yep.
a bit.
That was a good break. That was a fun break.
Yeah.
And
Fun cheeky break.
yeah. And so for people wondering, it's like, how long should my pause be? You know, how divergent from the beat should be if you want to do something like that, like a little fun interrupt. That's how you do it.
Yep.
That is how you do it.
Hooray.
So, honestly, this might have been my favorite of their rounds. So, I think I gave this an 8 just because I was so satisfied. I liked how the first verse came in. I like how this verse comes in. I like the break. So yeah, good work. Congratulations on the win. 8 out of 10.
Yep, good job. What's it called? So here's how I have the coal set up.
Okay, we'll find out.
Yep.
We'll adjust as needed. Crunk tomatoes.
Oh shit. Okay, this is Tokyo-ish.
For the kids at home, ish is a word replacement for shit.
There you go. Oh, fuck. There it is. There it is. Yeah, that's a good smoke. I'm gonna get rid of one of the coals, though.
I agree.
Actually, I'll get rid of the other one, too.
Yeah. We'll add them back or not. Whatever.
Oh, I forgot about my iced tea.
That's fourth meal iced tea right there.
It really is. It's very large. It's unsweetened though, so there's like not
Nothing
a lot
in
of.
it. There's no.
Yeah, there's not.
We ain't from the South. We don't sweeten our tea.
But sweet tea is delightful, so I'm not mad at that. But like I needed.
I don't have a good opinion on it because I don't like tea in general, and so sweet tea just sounds like someone tried to throw sugar on me drinking a vegetable, and I don't like that. Which is why I don't like tea. I don't like tea of any kind because it's like I'm drinking a vegetable, and I don't care for that.
That's a hot take, Steves. That's a hot take on that.
I prefer. I don't like bean juice either. I'm not a fan of coffee.
Oh, coffee keeps me from.
I'll take my aspartame and carbonated water and strange chemical flavors. Thank you.
Strange.
Thank you, Diet
flavors.
Coke.
Yep.
From Jack in the Box, Live Manos.
Jack in the Box, Live Manos.
So this one jumps around for different deliveries, similar to other tracks. And whereas each section in itself feels good, I don't feel like they're nearly as connected as I want them to be.
I agree.
Not to seem like I'm just praising the person that I rely on to produce or to at least record and mix, master, and produce some of my music. But you would want to look into how Bill Beats did some transitions, or how the other teams previous did transitions. Hell if I Know did it real well. KKMDS did it real well on their last thing, where you either need bigger pauses or bigger transitions if these are going to be these drastic changes, and maybe come back to something that has like maybe a similar melody front line on the instrumental in the transition, so it always feels like you're coming back around to the familiar. But it's still a real strong track.
Yeah, it is.
8 out of 10 for me. Mumra.
Alright, Mumra crew cuts.
People are wondering why the lighting is so intense and weird. It's because we have fake lighting here and there that I just bought, and I have no idea how to use it yet. But I needed it to be a bit brighter so that the camera wasn't super stuttery.
Yep, you get what you get. Mm-hmm. Be grateful.
You get a very squinty me.
Yep. Just be grateful. That's really it. Dying of exposure. Just be grateful.
Shubz. See, that's why you're not in charge of the taglines. I like to create a welcoming atmosphere with dying of exposure, not an atmosphere of expectation.
I'm just tired. All the time. I'm just like, you know what, fuckers?
Dying of exposure. I spent 8 hours on this mediocre video. You will be grateful that I did anything.
You will like it. Well, thank you, Dan. Oh, okay.
The second verse on this is a little looser than I liked. I liked the first verse a lot because it was loose, but it felt like contained. The second verse is a little looser than I like, but it's not all the way wandering off. So think that's more of a personal preference, and I like to change up between the verses.
Yeah, it's a fun beat. I appreciate it.
Little rhythm change, little timing change.
I also appreciated that part.
I think that was technically part of the challenge. I don't know. I didn't submit a track this round, and it's nobody's fault why we didn't submit a track this round. My partner came to me and he's like, "I'm super busy and everything," and I'm like, "Well, I have an idea," and then I didn't get to that. So I guess it's my fault. I guess that we didn't submit anything.
That's okay.
But they were also. We were both in agreement that
Yeah.
we're like, we're tired and busy.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I know that it would have been the last round. We would have been we would have been 100 out of 10 and swung the win in the last moment. Well, second place. We couldn't have beaten KKMDS.
No,
But
no, they were out here. They knocked it out of the park. This VPC. I appreciated that
I
part.
appreciated that
Good
part
job.
too. I think that overall is a pretty good track, but I don't think it's as gelled as some of the others. But it lives between a 7 and an 8. I think I probably gave it a 7 when I was voting, but I'd give it an 8 today because I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, I think with a little bit more polish and shit,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's gonna.
It could go.
That's gonna, yeah. What is that? Monstar Squad. Okay.
Yeah, Monday and Monsters, Monstar Squad.
Nice little.
Shout out to Space Jam.
Come on and slam. For some reason, squad was really difficult for me to spell just now.
Well, it's got a vowel.
That's fair, yeah.
It's got 2 vowels.
Oof, we gotta bust through.
Don't worry.
We still got that Q&A.
Yeah.
I appreciate this fucking throwback.
This throwback beat right
I'm
here.
not. No one is upset on this side of the table. I feel like people would know if I was like gravely offended or actually no. I don't know if like you.
I would know.
You would know.
I'd
Triple
hear about
Aaron would know. Bill Beats would know, but and like a few other people would know, but the general public will just get resting bitch face.
By the way, I like that this round of Two Yoked Bros least helpful round, which is fine because the competition's over. The voting's up. I think the judges are probably back to wit by now. They just haven't been posted. I know there's been some delays.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said and I think I said this for this round, or for this iteration of VPC too, if people had any questions or wanted more in
get
depth,
at you and message.
they can PM me. You know, like they could PM me, but nobody has, and that's fine. I'm busy. I'm fucking tired.
I loved this song when I listened to it. Second verse comes in real clean after that first. First verse is good. Second verse comes in. It's a different vocal tone. It feels very different. It goes exactly as well with the beat. There's a nice little addition to the beat.
Appreciate this hook. This
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
just
this is a good
overall
song.
great song. I'm not. Hi-oh.
Oh no, I'm thinking 9 out of 10 on this one. Yeah, just because of the throwback beat, a real simple delivery.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump into Not Dead Yet.
Not dead yet. The ending. Okay.
This one's gonna hurt me not to listen all the way through this thing, but we'll get most of it.
It's again great.
This is a big old No Friends collab.
Strong fucking collective.
Mm-hmm. We're all go there with this, another big like loud orchestral hits.
Mm-hmm. My sister does great work. Ryako is dope.
Agreed.
I mean, if you disagree, you're a hoe. Like.
I love this second verse with the melody work that's done on as the added layer on this one.
Yeah. Okay, I will say that we have been helpful because there are times where we're like, okay, turn this up, turn that down.
I guess we've been a little helpful.
Yeah, marginally helpful.
Marginally helpful is dying of exposure. Tagline: marginally helpful, dying of exposure. I got asked the question that was a very simple question. It's like, so you have all these different series on dying of exposure, yeah? And I'm like, yeah. Do you have a series that's actually just called Dying of Exposure, like the name of the thing? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, you should. And I'm like, I should.
Would it just be like a fireside chat with Steve and Perry Kelsey?
No, it's an interview series with different, specifically artists in the music, art, writing, and performance communities,
okay,
where they're talking about art and their experiences with it as the public receives it.
Okay, word.
This round allowed Ryoko to sing, which
Yay!
made me happy because Ryoko's got a good voice.
Yay! Shit, you know what I wonder then? Have the rest of the acts for 2-ton con thing?
A what?
Now I gotta look at the 2-ton con thing because I don't.
You don't know who's in it. This is a great track. It's a 10. It's a 10. I'm gonna interrupt Shubs' phone thing because we got to keep this machine going.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Okay.
Primal wins. Primal fear.
Primal wins. Primal fear.
Reason I could say that title is because everything was short. All right, I got hella notes for this. So the beat does a very cool thing where it slides into how it's going to be looped and how it's going to be cut with the drums. The MC is not rapping poorly on as a standalone verse. However, what's happening here is that this is the kind of thing where when there's a significant transition from the intro to when the drums come in, where you really want to ride that first stanza on the beat. So you really got to ride how the hats feel and how the drums come in. And I feel like some word dragging and some slower come in would have been a better choice to really grip the verse, both vocally and instrumentally, to the audience transition, where they're like, oh, this is going to groove that way. I feel like it's not that the MC isn't on beat, it's that they're not living with the sort of groove of the song as much as I want them to be. This was the first one where I really feel like the intro didn't grab me as much. And so, also, your very beginning intro, where you were like, what the fuck, VPC? Last round. Should have stopped it there. If you're going to say some words at the beginning, they need to be relevant. Everything in they need to be important and interesting. Everything in your track should be in service of interesting or ensnaring the audience or your own art and personal feelings. So a line like, I'm going to spit some of my last bars, right? Unless you're spitting your last bars because you're retiring from hip-hop, yeah, you're in the last round of VPC. So filling an intro with words doesn't improve the intro unless the words actually improve the intro. It doesn't by default do it. So you could have just left it with the fuck VPC last round and then just cut right into it, right there.
Yep.
I realize I'm nitpicking here, but whatever.
Yep.
It's still like a 7 out of 10. It's still a pretty good song. It just isn't as gelled as some of the others. All right, we're going to jump right into Sailor Doom.
Sailor Doom, Ballad of Zarina. Okay.
Yeah. great verse work on this first verse. Comes in with a high energy that the beat matches, gets bigger. I, of course, love that trick on the hook. This is a very particular subject matter, so I wouldn't expect to see it live, but I guarantee you if you did that live and had it in your regular rotation, the audience would join in the chantily singing Czarina. Got anything left in here?
I think so. Oh, you know what we should do next time? Whether that be, I don't know. We should have 2 bowls, and I'll bring my bowl. We can do like one bowl, and as it's like sunsetting, have the other bowl ready and cold, so we can just oven mitt that shit.
Just transition.
Yeah.
I like that this track gets like nastier and dirtier throughout it.
I appreciate that.
Noisier. And then the chorus works real well as like a recentering. So I think this is another good Sailor Doom track. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Good job.
Yep, good job.
Good job, Wreck the System.
All right.
I'm proud of you.
Let's jump right into the Q&A.
Okay.
Q&A time, right in the middle of the judging.
Hold up, let me cancel that. All right, what questions do you folks have for me? For us, really. All right, so we're just gonna do this by cluster. Josh K asks, favorite VP song of this year, favorite VP songs of all time, favorite VP song you've been involved with, best writing you've done on a VPC. If you could add one feature to a song from this round, who would you add?
That's so many questions. Okay, let's take them one at a time. Favorite VPC song of this year. That's real hard. It's probably a Songbotco song because I'm such a stan for them. I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to answer 2 favorite acts of this year, which is a split for me between Songbotco and One Up Funk. It's not that Hell If I Know, Sailor Doom, Not Dead Yet, Grove Speeds, Extra Creds, tons of freaking acts, didn't impress me throughout this thing. Prowess's group.
Sleeping
Dragon. Tons of them impressed me. Didn't know Chris Sonko before this. Didn't know One Up Funk before this. And my favorite thing about VPC is people fully surprising me with, it's like, where's this person fucking been? I already knew that Prowess was dope. I already knew
of course she's dope.
I already knew Gross Angel and Bill Beats would be good. I already knew that you and Arda were going to be good.
Amazing.
I knew Hell If I Know. They're like, we're switching, and I'm like, that's equally as good as before. Like,
no one's
these
upset
were
by
known
their decisions.
entities. These were known entities for me. Favorite of all time. That's a lot of songs to think about.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
It's too many to count. I'm going to tell you my favorite, my song I recommend that you go back and listen to. My favorite, least favorite of all time, which is my own song, Out Here, in the first
Lingo,
VPC with Lingo, back when he was called Sketch.
That was a dope song.
Yeah.
Y'all killed that.
It's a dumb song. I do a country accent. It's real stupid.
It's pretty dumb though. Hey y'all, or did you?
Howdy y'all.
Like
yeah.
Out Here.
Yeah. So go back to the VPC. Go back on the SoundCloud. Go back to VPC 1, round 4 or something like that. But it's a song called Out Here. It's not my best song of that VPC by far, but it is a very fun song.
It's memorable.
It's
I
memorable.
That.
So yeah, there's that. And then what were the other ones? Features, something like that.
Best writing you've done on a VPC song, and if you could add one feature to a song from this round, who would you add to which song?
That's so
a lot.
weird.
That
That's
is a
so
lot.
weird. Okay, I would add Shubz, because I know she's in Sleeping Dragon, but I would add Shubz to, I don't know, what song would I add you to? Who do you least belong in a track with?
I don't know. That's a lot of folks.
That's
a lot of folks.
I would have added Shubz to the Dystopia track. I would have liked to see what would have happened with a rap breakdown in a funk song. Also, just because I don't think people would expect, even though you have hella through this been like, yeah, I fucks with Dystopia's tracks. MC-117's good.
Yeah, he's a treasure.
Yeah. I don't think people would expect that from you, and that would make me happy to have you get to surprise people.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Sentimentality-wise, also. I suppose my favorite VPC sentimentality-wise was the first one that Shubzilla...
VPC 1?
Shubzilla doing it, because it started her often fraught journey into nerdcore. But
I have many feelings on that. VPC 1 was also where I first did I think the first reincarnation of Baby Steps, or incarnation.
Yeah, first incarnation of Baby Steps.
But that's a lot of things.
It's too much. What's next?
What's next? All right, so this question comes from Mark C. Or questions. What teams do you feel were underrated throughout the competition? What do you feel the judges could have missed in the voting process? Do you feel that the newer VPC members had to fight with a bias of veteran members?
I don't think they had to fight much with a bias of veteran members, simply because so many of them were so surprisingly strong. However, to address, I think, your question on what do I feel like some of the judges miss, and I feel like this is something Nerdcore misses. And I'm going to get real fucking honest here for a moment. And it's going to be on the live stream, and I'm going to put it on the video.
Kettle's on.
It may come across as a little bit, for lack of a better term, racist when you dig into songs that clearly fit a caliber of what would be considered delivery-wise and function-wise as sort of straight hip-hop. They sound very much like they could go on any hip-hop station, and their nerdcore is fuck. But it may... You may want to look into your biases on what kind of nerdcore you like. And I'm not
came in on the right part.
This is not. I'm not saying that anyone is deliberately or maliciously doing that. I'm not attacking a person as like a classic racist in the sense that it's like music by the brown people is bad. I'm saying we all grew up with different music, and if you don't like that style of hip-hop, figure out that and then contain and be able to speak to it a little bit better. And it's not racist if you don't connect with a style of music. That's just not connecting with it. But oftentimes I feel like, and not the judges specifically, not everyone on the Facebook group, but I feel like a lot of new coming artists, and it's not something I had to consider a lot because last VPC and with the NPC collective, pretty much everyone in that collective, everyone's like, they're great. And then new artists come in and they don't sound exactly like that, but they still sound very hip hop. They're not super disjointed or fringy. They're not what nerdcore has been. And it feels, it comes across to me as racist a little bit. If not at the very least a little bit prejudicial to hip-hop outside of the expectations within nerdcore. So I think that might be a hurdle for people that I'm not seeing as artists when they come in. Like, if I'm seeing that it's sort of prejudicial and I'm not on the receiving end of it because I don't sound like regular hip-hop because I sound like a Muppet, and I am fully open about how, like, I mean, I've said it about Prowess when they do that kind of loose rap over a verse where it's the right beat, they're on it, but they're real loose with it, and it's not riding the beat as much. I've been more than clear that that's not my thing. But that doesn't mean that it's not talented, and I can't hear that objectively. It just means that for me, and especially I think when you're a judge, you've got to be really in a headspace of consistent voting with the goals that you set in mind for what you want to judge off of. So if you're a judge that's like, I'm going to judge about listenability to this song out the jump, then it doesn't matter exactly the style, as long as within that style it contains the listenability. So that's my overly long-winded thing to saying sometimes some of the critics of some nerdcore artists come across as a little bit racist, and I don't necessarily think it's intentional, but intention doesn't matter nearly as much as impact. So please don't. Please don't do that. It makes me feel bad. It makes, and it's not even directed at me. I just feel bad about it. So you can imagine how difficult it can be for people that come in and maybe they're from a traditional hip-hop background, and that's just what they like to listen to and what they like to rap. They're excited to come into this, and they feel like they're being pushed out. Shubz, you wouldn't know about any of that. White guy talking about racism on the internet. Let's do this.
All right. The last question for Mark C is, what teams you feel were underrated throughout the competition?
Sleeping Dragon.
Fucking.
Is Mark C Mark Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Facebook, so
yeah.
it's public.
No, I like doing the first
I
name, last initial, because it makes it.
So
anyway.
So, Mark Cooper.
Because it's fucking Mark.
Yeah. The production wasn't always perfectly clean on all their tracks, and so I can understand why there's dinging there. But I definitely think by like round 3, they'd gotten real comfortable with it. Who else do I think was underrated? Songbot Co. Because I don't think they're gonna win, which means that's lots of teams. Honestly, it's hard.
Soundproof was mad underrated.
Soundproof was mad underrated. Like lots of teams put up really good tracks this round. It's real hard to say underrated for me because a lot of teams kind of fluctuated in their space, but everyone performed at a pretty decent level in this VPC for the most part. And that's hard to do. Mm-hmm. And so I don't pay attention. Like, I pay attention to the nerdcore group kind of. But I think Beaker called me the dad that went out for cigarettes and never came home kind of father.
You kind of
yeah, where I was I'm just like, hey, I'm in this group, I do things. Or like I'm like a bad divorced parent, I guess, where I only get the kids on like 2 holidays and every other weekend, and sometimes I cancel.
Sometimes Christmas.
Sometimes Christmas. Yeah. So, yeah, but like I think so many of the teams were very good. Certainly. Yeah. Okay. Next.
This one's from Josh K again. If you could rap a verse on any song from this round, which would you pick?
From this round, I did it. It's One Up Funk's thing. I didn't rap, I sang, which is, of course, my preferred method of punishing listeners. But I sang. I did it. When One Up Funk was like, who be down to guest, I immediately messaged them. I'm going to marry them one day. I'm going to make them honest boys. And
I'll probably be the maid of honor for you.
We're gonna you'll just polycule with me and my wife. It's fine. We're in the Northwest. It's how we do now. Non-standard, non-heteronormative relationships up here in the Northwest. Plus, I could use a citizenship to Canada. I feel like America's pretty much spent. So if I could just marry into that, that would be really appreciated. I don't have any skills, so I can't get a job there. The only way I can do is like honeypot some handsome young beau, and I think Bobby and Ryan are right for it.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby Arson, I'll be your betrothed, bruh.
Oh, hey, Bobby, what's up?
Yeah,
I didn't know you was in the room.
We got,
yeah.
Welcome, and yes, apparently
I think
that's
I made
a
it
thing.
clear in my guest where I'm literally like, get rid of one of you, and then the other one and me. I'm good with all 3 of us. That's the preferred thing.
Okay.
But that's because I'm a lot of man. I might need 2 I'm 6.5 feet. I'm over 300 pounds. I'm 6.5 feet tall. That's a lot of man for one man to handle.
dude.
So I might need two.
Lotto dude.
If anyone can handle it, though, it's either Bobby or Ryan.
And or.
Either,
really.
preferably,
and/or.
though, both.
Great question.
I got weird.
I forgot which question you were answering. Okay, this one is from Joshua W. At any point during the VPC 6 were you in any way inspired to get in the kitchen and create baked goods? Did you enjoy eating any baked goods? Would you say that the enjoyment of any baked goods you enjoyed during the VPC 6 was in any way enhanced or perhaps perfected by any of the musics presented in the VPC 6?
That makes sense, Dapper Source.
Yeah.
Shubz? Did you bake anything during those last 2 months?
Let's see here. I will
or
answer,
4 months?
I will bullet point this. Question 1, no. Question 2, yes. Question 3, no.
I'm going to give you a hot take right here. I don't really like baked goods. I know it's a sin for a large fat man to say that, but I'm not a huge fan. I like the occasional donut, and then that's about it. I don't like cake. I don't really love pie. I wrote a song about that. I don't like a lot of baked goods. It's just true. I like bread. I don't like sweet baked goods, I should say. I love a good bread.
Fair.
But yeah.
Fair.
No, but the answer is no to all of those. I don't like baking.
Oh, I'll answer this one.
What?
This one is from Michael B. Is there a 2YB episode for round 4? Yes.
Yes, it's coming out at the same time. I guess I should say this to the live stream because they'll just see it. It came out at the same time as this one. I got real lazy and distracted on it. We didn't quite wrap it up, and then I had to do some solo things, and then I got distracted, and then it was late, and I'm like, I'll just release it with VPC 5, and then VPC 5 was extended extra time, so it really, it's happening. You can go to the channels, and it's more in our classic style with cuts and edits.
I mean, I was just going to say yes and leave it at that, because it's like, yeah, there is. The end. All right, this one is from Ryan F. If there were a Most Improved Team award, who would that go to? Also, if you could build a 3 to 5 team VPC 6 tour, which teams would you put on it, listing opener to headliner?
Fuck opener to headliner. Almost no one's famous enough to demand one or the other. There's degrees, but it's small degrees. From a public audience perspective, almost nobody in this VPC is that famous. On a national tour. Most improved team. Well, Shubz did piss poor in round 1 and 2.
Yeah,
it's barely like you showed up. So
I guess would I be the
you're
would
very
the extra
improved.
creds?
Honestly,
be the
extra
most
creds
improved?
got real good in round 3 suddenly somehow. So yeah, there you go. I mean, like I was worried about both you and Arda separately, and then you finally got your shit together in round 3 and started putting out them good songs.
We did.
God, I hated your round 1 track of nothing. Who would I put together on a tour? This tough because there's multiple tours I would put together on this thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams.
I'd put you I'd put Extra Creds, Sleeping Dragon, Gross Beats, maybe Soundproof.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Maybe
that's
Soundproof,
but
and then
that's like a 5-act roster right there because
yeah.
then you got like Tia and Arda. No, there's even more.
There's
of that.
so
Tia
much
and Arda,
crosswork there.
There's
You guys
me,
could have.
There's me and Bill Beats.
You all could have a great track, or a great tour.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that would be a dope tour.
That would be a great tour.
Yeah.
But if
we would need a van at that point or a semi to fit all our shit.
I might put One Up Funk out there with Not Dead Yet, and Leet Geek Beef, and
I would say Sailor Doom in that.
Sailor Doom, and then if we wanted it to get weirder, hell if I know.
Honestly, I think Helifino is one of those teams where they can go.
They could go anywhere.
Really could.
Yeah. Like that's what's great about them is that they're super eclectic as a duo. And so they can go anywhere, and their music will fit in with different categories of hip hop because it is unique into of itself in a weirdly bridging way.
Right. So corollary from Jeremy W. Which VPC 6 songs would be best when performed live?
We've talked about this a lot. Who's Robo Rob's team?
Team Kokoro.
Team Kokoro. Most of their shit would bang crazy live. Like, they did a great job with it. Pretty much, Shubz, you pretty much only, or you pretty much always have, like, a mental headspace for how would this sound live.
Yeah.
And so, do you have any particular thoughts, beside, of course, your own music?
No.
Which would sound good live, because your music sounds good.
Of course.
But yeah, like, almost all of this stuff would sound live, or would like, bang live. I think it would be a little bit weird. So going back to the tour question, if you took Songbot Co. and Dystopia and put them on a tour together, I think that would play really well together for nerd audiences. But like most of these songs were built to be, almost sounds like they were built to be performable.
And I hope that's the case.
Yeah, if you write for the VPC and you're happy with what you've done, you should perform that live. That's just how it works.
Yeah. All right. Let me.
Is there any more?
Oh, there's more. This one comes from Melissa C. Were there any teams that surprised you? No.
None whatsoever. We've already talked about that. That question's been answered in other questions.
Well,
I guess Not Dead Yet didn't so much surprise me as greatly met my hope. Right? I was like, I obviously I knew Kill. I'd listened through and watched videos of it's done.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Huka. I'd watched through.
I'm gonna unfoil this just so
Yeah, I'd watched through all of Ryako's videos, and listened to the Bandcamp, and so I had high expectations, and they met them. So that's a team I haven't like mentioned a lot yet, even though they're a favorite team. But and then the other surprised teams were just teams that were new, where I was just like, I've never heard these. Well, honestly, I'd really never listened to Mark Cooper. I was very pleased to hear that. But I wouldn't say it was surprise so much as it was, oh, this is new. I'm surprised sometimes at how talented some of these teams can be in a 3-week competition. Like, certain tracks rise so very high, and it's impressive. Less surprised. I'm more impressed, because it's hard to deliberately make a banger and have it go off without a hitch, and to do that in 3 weeks based off of some sort of regulation and then have it knock up.
Okay. So 2-part question. Well, okay. Yeah, 2-part question from Celine T. Did Helifino get 10s from Steve in rounds 4 and 4.5 as well? And then, go ahead.
I didn't vote on 4.5. This was a garbage round. No, I'm kidding. But I didn't vote on 4.5 because it wasn't real. In 4, I think I gave you a 10. I'm almost sure I gave you a 10.
All right.
You'll find out in the video.
Second part of their question. Also explain to me why we never got that Pinky and the Mancubus cover of Land Them.
Because I need the stems. Unfortunately, Navi didn't have the stems for that song. I do think I want to cover it still, and since you're both in agreement, I will probably be working with someone to just redo the instrumentation entirely. I'm not going to improve the delivery of the verse at all, because it's amazing, and Celine does perfect with it. And so I'm going to straight up just lift that and cover it like I was at karaoke. Except it won't sound as good because it's out of my throat instead of Celine's. But for the chorus and some of the song structure is what I was really in the headspace for, and so I either need the stems, which Navi doesn't have, and that's fine. But I do want to cover it. I'm considering trying to see if I can get the cover arranged for my debut album. I don't know if I want to put a cover on my debut album. That seems like a weird choice, but it sort of just depends on how it goes. That'll be out in March, so I'm not putting a day to it because it might be like March 30th. But hopefully it'll be out in March. It might be April, but it'll be out when it's done here in late winter, early spring. And I like the song so much. Actually, arguably, if you're talking about what's my favorite song from Lanthem, or from VPC, it's one of the top 3 is probably Lanthem. I love it so much.
That's it. Those are all the
questions. Those are the questions.
They had a lot of things to...
They had a lot of things to ask for the fight. It's because they knew this would be the last one.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh no.
We gotta get our questions
They'll be gone.
in. Yep. All right, good job. Good job with your questions. They're very good.
All right, let's jump right into Surtet. Oh shit.
At least from your speakers, the vocals need to be turned up.
Yeah. But if the vocals are at all significantly lower, well, no, they wouldn't be on this. Yeah, the vocals need to come up. I love the production though.
Yeah.
I love the beat. See, they're much higher here in the mix. I think they're just too low in now.
Yeah. That's been kind of a theme that I've been seeing with a lot of tracks this VPC. Like,
sometimes the vocals need to be turned up.
On the hook.
On the hook specifically.
Yeah.
I really like this.
Same.
This is like hella nerdcore classic though.
Very.
It's like I'm just gonna rap about the thing. Yeah, the chorus vocals just need to come up. That's about it. This is a pretty good track. I know I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I really liked the chorus instrumentation. I like a really just simple fucking piano chords. Nothing clever, just hitting them on the quarter notes or the eighth notes. Yeah. And then this change up, which was required by the round.
I like that swing.
See, the swing in the vocals works with the delivery of the guitar. I don't know which came first, but they synced up, and then they break from it and they go back to this. That's excellent songsmanship right there. That's good crafting.
Yay. Pat yourselves on the back.
Pat yourselves on the back, Surtet. I believe I gave this an 8. In my mood today, it might have been a 9, but it's too late now.
It's too late.
You know it's not too late for a Sleeping Dragon.
Never too late for Sleeping Dragon. This was fun to be a part of.
You know,
RNL out here.
I think my problem with Sleeping Dragon is that I'm not sure it sounds nerdcore enough with a song straight up in the Defenders universe. Because this is called, what, The Hand or something? Yeah, The Hand. Yeah, and everything. Love this beat.
Right?
Love the rappers on this.
It was fun.
Love the rappers on this.
I like
It was such a good selection of people.
Oh, hey, it's me.
You missed an opportunity to rhyme slice and dice and twice with just saying the word, just the number 69. Giant pregnant pause. Nice. And it really breaks. It was just something that popped in my head when I was listening to.
Yeah.
It doesn't go in the song,
No,
but I'm like, what a missed opportunity. And so I need to manufacture that in a song.
Yeah.
I need to manufacture Something as aggressive as Slice and Dice with 69. Nice.
I was feeling.
Giant.
I think I was feeling incredibly cantankerous and murderous
You?
at the time. Yeah, me.
You?
My God, I'm a fucking ray of sunshine. But yeah, I was feeling extra cantankerous. So.
Yeah, no, this
Murder.
is murder. Yeah, this is a good track. It's a good track. I probably gave it a 10 out of 10. I think I gave it a 10 out of 10. No one should give it below a 9, honestly.
Yeah.
9. And the only reason I see not giving it a 9 is it doesn't have like a crystal bang ass chorus on it. Because it's a posse track.
Yeah. Because at that point, if you're like asking for choruses or whatever, then it's a preference.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a top shelf song and a good collection of rappers. Good job, everybody.
Good job. We did a good thing, y'all.
Some of B-Type.
Oh, oh wait, no, I didn't do it. Okay. Oh.
AFD featuring more B-Type. AFD.
AFD.
I've been struggling with some of B-Type this whole VPC. See, this is another example of trying to rap fast and feeling like you're just trying to catch up to the beat constantly. And so it comes off sloppy. I'm not saying I haven't done this. I absolutely. You can go to Death Star's Bandcamp, you'll find it. I put it on albums, but it's something that is recommended against. I love the instrumentation behind this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, this is
I'm a big Chiptunes fan,
yeah.
though, so that's not surprising.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a song. After so much strength with posse tracks and good collabs, it's hard for me to really want to jump into this. And so I think this one I gave a 6 out of 10 on.
I think with enough practice, this would be.
Yeah, if you tighten this up,
fire.
this would be fire as fuck. It's
Yeah.
just so loose.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Songbot Co. Love how the verse comes in after that chorus. Fully unexpected, and yet everything about this verse feels right and feels like it was connected to just what I was listening to instrumentally. I want you to know, if I ever win the lotto, I'm just going to fund Chris Sonko's music career.
Chris Sonko is a fucking delight.
Yeah.
Like, and he off the dome so fucking well.
Yeah.
It's very delightful.
But yeah, him and producer.
Vincent Neil.
Yeah, Vincent Neil. Him and Vincent Neil. I just fund their music.
They work well together. Very nice. Good job, y'all.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, I give this a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good job. It's time for Soundproof. Yes! Friends. Whoa.
This just feels right. That's the thing. Is it's like the beat. This is exactly how you rap over this instrumentation in this beat. Like it just comes so just straight spitting style. The drop was in the right place. The guests feel like they go with this. Like this is something where I'd be like, oh, these people rap together. Yeah, like it's just good. It's just good.
Yeah. What it do?
And then again,
I am
when you're
I'm the opposite of mad.
When you're doing your constructions of multiple, and you're not in like a band where you're always together. When you're doing your constructions of guests and everything, this sample is so good. You gotta think about the tone and how each of your MCs is gonna deliver, and then comprise the verse order that way, so that you have a good interest up and down from the audience, or for the audience, from the MCs. So if you've got someone that's like really strange, you might put them in the middle as a break, or if you got someone that's really unique in comparison, you might put them in the middle of the break. If you've got a low voice, or if you've got two low voices and a high voice, you got to split the low voices. If you feel like someone has just got just a stellar verse, the urge is to wrap it up really strong, but you actually want to lead really strong on a song to get people to listen through the whole song. Also, don't be afraid when you have guest vocalists, and many of the groups did this, to just put your guest vocalists in front of you. You don't have to be the first verse on a song if you have a bunch of guest vocalists. You can be the third verse, or the second verse, or the fourth verse, or whatever. Yeah.
Cool.
10 out of 10, by the way, on this one. I really like this song.
Yeah.
It's a rare example of me liking a song with a sample chorus.
In days of old, there were tales of 7 pirate lords who ruled the waves of the 7 seas.
One Piece?
Tales of their exploits drifted
I've
on
never
the
seen it.
waves, carried by the piercing cry
I got like
of
15 minutes.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
Alright.
And by get there, I mean we'll get to 5 songs, maybe 6, and then you'll walk out before Young Sullivan and Zero Cool, probably.
Okay.
Maybe XO Plus. That was a real long intro. That was like 2.5 intros. Because now it's another intro.
Yeah.
Oof. We coming up on that minute? 50 some odd seconds? Right at 50.
It's way too long of an intro. If it had just been that second part of that
Yeah, it's
intro,
how it introed literally from the moment it got into the music for the beat. That would have been fine.
Yeah, exactly.
If you really wanted that portion of it, lift it, put it to the end of the track.
Oh yeah, that
Or do it as an interlude if the track is too samey, but not all at the front.
What the fuck? Like, but that aside, I was
Yeah, no, I really
I
like.
was vibing.
I really
I
like
was
the
vibing.
the first piece. Spandex Moose is a very silly band, and so anything that is silly is in their purview. This is actually one of my. I don't know if it's my favorite from them, but it's definitely top 2. The chorus, or this piece, does sort of fall apart a bit. So, I think I gave this one a 7 out of 10 because the intro was too long and not all of the pieces were as clean. Like, most of the song is good. But I think tightening up that one would make it a 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. It's a fun song. Team
Word.
Kokoro.
I'm saying,
What?
My buddy Aaron saying intro way too long.
Yeah, 50 seconds is too long for an intro on a 31-song competition.
What is this? A message?
A message to the other something. A message to the other, your title is too long. VPC contestants. Classic. Like, Team Kokoro has been so consistent with these big, noisy, over-the-top pieces that they manage to stay on top of as a hip-hop act, which is difficult. And so nobody's surprised that this all sounds fucking fantastic and high energy. And again, already live, this would be super hype and super dope.
That ended weird.
Yep. This is some of the fucking fastest
Like,
verse
I appreciate
playing.
a great fast rap, but it needs to break up. There it is.
Yeah. I think because it's such a tight container on each thing, I think each vocalist can come, or each piece can pretty much just come with a trick. And that's okay, because you're moving very quickly.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Like
Teen
this hook.
Titan.
Yeah, this I gave this one, I can't remember if it was a 9 or a 10, but it's a 9 or a 10.
Yep, good job, y'all.
Good job. You killed it. I like this. I like this melodic piece here. And then, of course, the big drop into the noise. Pitch perfect. Teen Titans.
Just Otaku Gang?
Otaku
Okay.
Gang.
Dope.
This is such a sea change from the last beat.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
I'm not mad.
This is good. I appreciate the variety that everyone brought and has been bringing throughout the VPC.
Yeah.
It is refreshing.
This is a very classic style.
Yeah, nah.
Of it's like just a big thing with those big breaks for the sample flip to hit those drums.
Oh, hell yeah. Nah, I fucks with this.
Vocals seem super comfortable in the cut.
Say that then.
Yeah, see, I think you need to be consistent and keep that space for that drum riff at the end of the sample flip. Trying to rap over that, like, you'd have to be real deliberate with your delivery to work around it. This one was, I think, it's a 7 or 8.
Or Arda. Yeah, this was like Team Titans is another team that just they're nasty. They out here.
I think the producer
I'm with it.
should have adjusted it for the second verse a little bit.
Word.
But yeah, good track. So I think I did an 8 on this. Extra creds.
Yay, 10.
Next up on VH1 Music, we have
This is a fun concept.
Big Whoop and the Barlords.
Isn't this about a band falling apart?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that a lot.
I have to shout out Coolsy because he thought of the. Was it like I gotta go back in the emails, but I think he like this was one of the proposed band names. I could have like I thought about this, but I didn't want to put this on anybody, but I was thinking of just like knocking back hella shots and then going in and recording
Just
this.
being drunk.
But like I couldn't do that to Bill Beats. I could not.
Maybe we should just start doing that to Bill Beats.
No, I can't.
That
Right?
part.
Right?
That piece. So clean.
Word. Artist says that he wished he had more time on the mix, but he liked it for the most part.
Yeah, I like it for the most part too. It's hard when you have a lot of vocalists coming to do a track too, when it's because it's not like it's like, oh well, it's the same amount of work. You have to mix in different vocal levels and pitches into a thing, and then try to make it all sound of a piece off different microphones.
Yeah, word.
Right. But no, I like this song. This is good. Love the concept. Love the trick in verse 2.
Word. We have to get like Frivolous Shara's like verse in though. Like her verse is delightful.
I'm sorry.
As well.
No, you have to. You have to go. We have to go to the next song. We've been cutting off people all day. Don't look at me that way.
I did.
Don't look at me that way.
I did.
I got no quarter for just because you're sitting right here next to me.
I don't care.
No special treatment.
That's fine. I'll still side-eye you. There's no special treatment at all.
Yeah.
All right, who is this?
Thought Team Epic.
Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
This is not my favorite. And I think it's because like the beat's a little slower? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to hear this at 1.3 speed.
I think I'll touch like faster, I would say.
Yeah. If I'd like to hear what this sounded like if it was sped up, because there is sound play in it a lot, and I think if it was more densely packed, not delivering faster over this, just the whole piece was more densely packed, I think that would have come off bad. Like, it's not that it comes off bad, but I think it would have enhanced it to a point where it would have been like, oh, that's real good tight sound play.
Yeah. It's less punchier than a lot of their other shit.
Yeah. But yeah, no. But yeah, I want to say I might have given this a 7 or an 8. I really like this beat, even though it's slower. I think I would have just liked more verse tricks. It's done.
Yeah.
I probably gave it a 7, knowing me at the time. We're going to go right into whack arrows.
Arrows, okay. And this is going to be the last track for the live stream.
Mm-hmm. And then,
so
if
we didn't get to your track and you're on the live stream, then it is forever a mystery what I think about your song.
Or you could just go
you don't want to do
and
that.
message Shubz.
You don't want to do that.
And ask.
You'll probably be left on red, frankly. like that part.
Yeah. Goes real well with this kind of super cash beat. I think it was the right choice on this beat to kind of be sing-songy and kind of half sing, half rap.
That's like a head nodder right there.
Yeah.
You know? Okay.
Yeah, this is a summertime beat.
Very much so. It's great because it's winter right now. I'm staying for White Hippie.
Staying for White Hippie?
Yeah, I'm staying for White Hippie.
All right.
We've got like 4 minutes. So.
All right. But yeah, I really liked this song.
Yeah.
It's super different than a lot of what has posted up.
It's giving me like an indie hip hop feel.
Yeah.
And I'm
about it. I'm about it.
I'm with it. Yeah,
and
I'm
so
here.
I believe I gave this song a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
White Hippie, stop and smell the roses.
Hey.
Ooh.
Hey, if Ashara's online right now on the live stream, I remember listening to this and I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
And then the change up.
Yeah.
I love the radio voice digital back effect with the reverb on it to make it nice and distant.
Those are fun.
Yeah, those always work. With a voice like mine, I can only do them to a 1940s, 30s radio announcer newsreel before the thing. Otherwise, it's not convincing. Otherwise, I just sound like I'm stalking someone on the internet. But
or like one of those 1940s like talkies.
Yeah.
Radio
It's like
soap operas.
Yeah. So, the only thing that I have a problem with this entire song, this song's like a great song, is that I hate that they required the time signature change, because I feel like both of them groove in their own time signatures. Or time signature change, sorry. Time speed change, a BPM change.
I feel like
because I feel like they both groove in their own time, in their own speed, and it means that my head doesn't want to stop rolling from verse to chorus and have to make that shift. This was a deliberate choice because of the challenge of the round. I feel like the best thing you could do is figure out how to either merge them or build a bridge between verse and chorus, and between chorus going into the verse, or intro going into the verse, that is a bit more of a space to really allow that slowdown to happen. And that's it. That's literally my only critique about this. I loved this track. I still gave it a 10.
Why not? I fucked with it.
So, good job. 10 out of 10. Possibly my favorite White Hippie song out of the round, as far as just listenability wise. It's so good.
Favorite
out of VPC 6.
Okay, word. Dope. All right, so I'm leaving.
You're leaving.
So thank you for all y'all that joined us on the live stream, looking at both cameras. Again, if you were not here,
you didn't get to see it.
You weren't here, so bye, hoes.
Although in this time version, they get to see everything because I'm not doing any edits.
Yeah, that's fine. But they didn't get it.
They didn't get it first. This probably won't go up until to like late tonight tomorrow. So.
All right, but yeah. Do you want me to put the?
Oh no, don't worry about it. You can just leave everything out.
All right, cool. Do you want me to plug this in still?
No.
Okay. No. Okay, this is here. It is fully cooled and not a fire hazard.
All right. EXO Plus Diaspora. It's EXO Plus Diaspora. It's not pronounced diaspora?
I think it's diaspora.
I don't know if I've really thought about it. I've read the word a lot.
Word. See, now, okay, I'll look this up.
Yeah, I gotta look it up. I'm not saying, like, I believe you that it's diaspora. I'm going to look it up so that I can confirm, but for some reason in my head it reads as diaspora.
Okay, yeah.
But there's no reason for that because it's an I, not a Y. But,
What is the weird thing, like I before Y?
I before E except after C, like when sounding, or in sounding like A in neighbor or way, with the exception of a number of words.
Okay.
Like weird.
Okay,
I almost only like half the time. It really is about where the IE is placed, not about this word sound.
Okay, word.
I like this track a lot. It's unsurprising. It's 3 very talented verse delivery. Like if you're like okay, XOC, Navi, and Cloth and Pop are all going to be on a track. I'm like, none of these people sound like each other. All of them sound like they very much live within themselves as verse delivery people, and it makes a great track.
Yeah.
Plus, I love the subject of the track. Like,
It's an
I gave it a 10.
It's important to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is especially weird now that you're not here, because now I'm just on the side. Now I've just got to...
Are you gonna scoot this
No,
way?
no. We've only got 2 more songs after this.
You should just scoot this way. Oh wait, no, I guess not. You should scoot farther away.
I should just gesture. Like, I should constantly pretend like I'm going to drop YouTube ads on this and be like, and thank you to our sponsor, Taco Bell, Live Moss, and our other sponsor, Jack in the Box, Live Manos.
If you like what you see, what is it like?
Click on like and subscribe and make sure to smash the notification button. Anyway, I've been letting this one go for too long. It's a 10 out of 10. It's no question. Bye, Shubs.
Bye, Steve. Bye, host.
Young Sullivan's VPC 6 round 5 track. To answer a question earlier, I feel like Young Sullivan slept on a little bit. They've never quite perfectly hit for me, but I feel like they're a lot better than a lot of people are thinking. I'd like to see them live. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good amount of time on a verse that goes like that in that exact cadence, and then to do an instrumental break and then bring it back in. Yeah, I really like what this beat does. And I love this second verse. I think I give this an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It was a pretty good song. Probably an 8 out of 10. Maybe a 9. I don't remember. It was definitely 8 or 9. It wasn't quite a 10 for me, but it was a really good song. Last but not least, Zero Cool. Bring out your nerds.
They all say that I'm fringe, and I'm like, OMG, dude, I've been built as nerd rap since 2003. Been playing shows with Mark since he was MCSTD. I played Yar's Revenge on the Atari. Skip school, play Street Fighter, Royal Rumble.
So I like how much it leans into this concept at the beginning here. And then the time change up. I like this but I don't know if I like it connected with the last one, like the last piece. I don't like if I like this piece with the intro, but I like the chorus. And then of course it's fantastic guest work. I love the production. I think I might have liked the guitar work at the end of the track, just at the end of the track. So like the slowdown might have been the end, and maybe just started off with the rockin'. Love how this sounds though. I gave this a 9 out of 10, only because I feel like it was a little clumsy at the beginning. Obviously that was all on purpose, but yeah, I think it's great. Good job. 9 out of 10. And that wraps up VPC 6, round 5. We'll be finding out shortly, maybe before this video is actually released, who won. But a lot of teams did really well this year. Thank you for watching this video. This one especially, because it's just a straight hour and 40 some odd minutes. I didn't even cut it up. So it's going to take forever to upload. I'll probably set it uploading overnight. It's fully unedited, so as you can see, we got distracted and everything. 2 Yoked Bros will be back for the next VPC competition. And if you would be so kind as a Nerdcore fan to like and subscribe to the channel, Nerdcore in Judgment will be continuing doing reviews on Nerdcore albums, so you can discuss, or you can submit that to dyingofexposure@gmail.com. Album has to be within the last few months of you shooting me an email. I'm trying to stay relatively current on it. I don't want to go through the endless back catalog of great releases that you've all done. You can also follow the Facebook page, Dying of Exposure, the Twitter, the Instagram, the everything. Those will start being more heavily used starting this week, actually. They're tied into me posting new content, but the YouTube is the most important thing. If you could become a subscriber, that would really help us out. 2 Yoked Bros has been around for a few VPCs. I think I started doing it after I was a judge, because I felt like judges don't spend enough time being critical. This has been real fun doing it mostly with Shubzilla. Other Yoked Bros may make appearances in future VPCs. And thank you again for your support, your comments about talking about the judging. I appreciate the direct messages. So, yeah, follow us on social media. Submit me your nerd music. Check out some interviews that are coming out with some nerd musicians. And then follow, of course, to plug Shubzilla stuff, Noir Grime. That's noirgrime.bandcamp.com, shubzilla.bandcamp.com, NPC Collective. I know she'd want to plug those. Of course, Bill Beats and anything he does. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Dying of Exposure will have I'll be branching out into a lot of non-music content. I never expect to put down nerdcore because I'm a nerdcore artist. Have a good rest of your year, I guess, until the next VPC. Hey, it's Steve on a different mic, at a different moment in time later this afternoon. I realized that there were some errors, so I had to trim out the first bit. Number 1, this is the last VPC 2 Yoked Bros round for VPC 6. It's been a great competition. I'm proud of all of you. Number 2, in celebration of that, I'm going to ignore everything I've learned over judging the VPC. And I am going to just not edit this video. That means there's some things in it that may be a little bit out of control versus the first videos, and there's a lot of time of us just sitting and listening to some of the songs, but we'll get into it. The big difference here is that we only had Shubzilla for about an hour and 45 minutes, so we tried to bang through as much as we could. It meant that we only got to talk about it over the first 2 to 3 minutes of the song. It's just a rougher take, but it's the right way to end it because I'm exhausted. So I am uploading this video I'll have this video uploaded soon. I'll have fun watching this video. The other thing that failed is it meant that it ate One Up Funk's review. It's a 10 out of 10 song, and that's not just because I'm on it. The change-ups of the samples, the joy that exists there. We talked about One Up Funk sounding like a band that's been together for 10 years, and they definitely brought it. One of my favorites of the group, and I was glad to join in the fun and their last track. We only listened to the first 3 minutes, so you didn't hear me at all, but that's honestly for the best. So One Up Funk, 10 out of 10. Everything that you do between Bobby's ability to just comfortably and deliberately nail sort of the exact kind of bouncy and up and energetic and sharp flows that work best with Ryan's, busy isn't the word, dynamic beat making. You can tell that you all had a lot of fun of it, took advantage of the extra time, and it was super fun. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the VPC. We're gonna pick up with Elite Geek Beef, track number 2, and yeah, there you go. Thank you very much.